He had recently had surgery and had abdominal surgery, and was telling us that we had a conversation with Mr. Neuman about coming to the Dunwoody Police Department for an interview.
What did you say to him about coming to the Dunwoody Police Department for an interview?
We wanted to do a tape interview with him regarding the van.
How did he respond?
He had recently had surgery and had abdominal surgery, and was telling us that he had a doctor's appointment, and we told him that we would get him to that doctor's appointment, but we needed to talk with him.
Did he in fact agree to come to the Dunwoody Police Department and take part in an interview?
Excuse me, he did.
Okay, how did he appear physically, and his description? Do you know what he had on?
Yeah, he had blue jeans, tennis shoes, and a sweatshirt.
All right, do you see Hemy Neuman today in court?
I do.
All right, can you identify him?
Yeah, he's sitting right here.
All right, well, can you describe what he's wearing? And
yeah, he has a purple shirt, tie, glasses.
all right, is there anything different about the way he appears now and the way he appeared when you spoke with him back in January of 2011?
He didn't have a beard then.
Okay, all right. Was the interview recorded?
It was.
All right. Your Honor.
May.
I am showing you what has been previously marked as State's Exhibit Number 87. If you could take a look at that and tell me if you can identify that.
Yes, videotape that was taken from the Dunwoody Police Department of the interview with Mr. Neuman.
Did you sit through that interview?
I did.
Or did you participate in that interview?
Yes, sir.
Have you reviewed this what you call the videotape, State's Exhibit Number 87?
I have.
Is it a fair and accurate representation of that interview that you took part in?
Yes, it is.
Your Honor, this time the State would offer State's Exhibit Number 87 into evidence.
Who's which? Any objection? 87 is admitted without objection.
Permission
to publish it if you wish.
Thank you, Your Honor. And before we publish it, Your Honor, if the video is rather long, I just want to go ahead and make the court aware.
I understand.
So, yes,
if you, Mr. James, approximately how long is this video?
6 hours.
6 hours, all right. We will go ahead and start that. Is there a transcript, Mr. James?
There is a transcript that plays as the video is playing, Your Honor.
All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this item has been admitted in evidence and it will be played. As Mr. James has indicated, based on what he just proffered, it may be approximately 6 hours, and we will begin. We will take breaks as needed. If you need a break before I get to a breaking point, if you raise your pad, that lets me know you need a break. And there's nothing wrong with taking a break. But 6 hours is 6 hours. So that's what it is. Approximately. So I just want to let you know it is 6 hours.
Your Honor, the counsel and I approached this briefly.
You may. All right, Kelly, we're back on the record. For the purpose of the record, that item was filed here at open court and with the clerk, and I will go ahead and release the clerk at this point in time. Thank you, Ms. Moore. All right, Mr. James, you may instruct your evidence, instruct your technician to go ahead and start the DVD. Ladies and gentlemen, just like any other DVD, it can stop and stop, and when it's paused, it will pause exactly at that point. When it renews, it just starts at that point. So nothing is being omitted. So when I say pause, he's just going to pause. And you can, you can write down the number so you know it's exactly that point. So he's not going to have to go back. But if necessary, you go back and let it again. All right. And as I said, I'm still going to give you normal breaks. So go ahead and begin. And if you can't see or read, just I ask him to turn up the volume if necessary. You may proceed with exhibit number 87.
Which, you know, Ron called you, I've been trying to get Cheyenne City from Florida, so I'm trying to said you had your father's wife, that's not your mother then. So when did you go down there? I think I tried to call you, I think it was December 23rd or 24th, I got the days on myself, on one of those days, which right before Christmas holiday. Is that about right? Yeah. You get your ID, you get your wallet, would you? I just want your ID, it's easy for me to write your name and everything down. So you don't need weapons or anything on you, do you? If you're ready to go, you okay? What? You alright?
It's unnerving to be like this.
I hope I don't make it unnerving for you, believe me, because I am. You're very nice. I appreciate you taking my calls. I appreciate you calling. I mean, that was nice of you to do that, Ray. Well, you didn't even have to call me back because you knew who I was. And when I called you the second time, when I talked to you in Florida, I just told you I'd call you when you got back. And some people just don't want to call them back, like you said, it's nerving, but I thought maybe you seemed to be okay with it, so you called me back. So I appreciate you coming down here now on your own. Just on the TV apartment just didn't seem conducive with Rusty there, so I thought it'd be, coming here would be better, and I appreciate you coming down here with us, and we'll get you back home, Lieutenant Ron will get you back to the condo there. Now, how do you know Rusty though? She's not a relative.
No, I was telling Lieutenant, when I came here to Georgia Tech.
Which was when?
1980. No. Yeah, it's 1980.
Okay.
She's the sister of a really good friend of my mother's.
Okay.
And we came, and I came right before the Jewish holidays. School.
Friends with you.
So basically, it was a place to go for the Jewish holidays. And then after that, we
became attacked, you mean?
So we became friendly and went to their house. The kids weren't at home because she's got all the kids.
Was she living there at the same time? In Albany? She had a house?
She had a house.
Where was that?
And her husband. It's over there by North Side.
So she's an old Atlantan. She's an old Atlantan. Yeah. And where were you living when you went to Tech? So you just went to their house for the holidays? And you sort of living for the
holidays, they would Thanksgiving, dinner.
So what were you studying at Tech? Aerospace engineering? Wow. That's a lot of math and a lot of flying.
I didn't fly.
You could. So you graduated from Tech with that? With what? What degree did you get? In aerospace. And from Tech, where did we go from there?
Worked for General Dynamics on the F-16 before.
What did you do with that?
What
did you do on that, the F-16?
I basically fixed bad parts. So things that they would screw up in manufacturing.
You would be able to look at
Getting back in the field, I would figure out a way to cut it up and make it good again, or patch it, or whatever.
General Dynamics, is that part of General?
That's lucky.
But they're based up here in Marietta. It's Lockheed up in Marietta.
Yeah, it was a Lockheed factory.
Did you do Lockheed there?
No, I worked. It was General Dynamics at the time. Lockheed eventually.
So how'd you get to General Electric from that?
Okay.
Oh, was there in between?
No, well, yeah, there's a lot in between.
Oh, okay. General Dynamics?
Yes, General Dynamics making the F-16 2016, they had a program with Israelis where the Israelis were making parts. So General Lennox sent me to Israel to work, again, same thing. You know, they messed them up.
Did you work with the Israeli military?
No, companies.
Private companies that were...
Israel Aircraft is not a private company, it's a government.
It's government, right.
Right. So I worked with different, some private, some are government entities, doing the same thing. So they had engineering questions related to how to make a part, or they would mess it up, how to fix it. And that's how I ended up in Israel. I married. And
General Electric, we get to General Electric, you've been there for 10 years, same position, or did you move around up with from there?
no, I had different roles. And then when I moved here, I've been in the same role for 5 years.
So the role you're in now, you've been in for 5 years, and what is that role now?
Quality operations manager.
And how many people you got on you?
Like 7 cars. I think we're 22 now. We're responsible for very common engineers.
And Andrew's one of your employees there. How long has she been with you over there?
Since April
Of 2010.
Yes.
And what is her title there?
She's the quality manager for our software team.
She's a pretty good employee.
Andrew?
Yeah, she's got the credentials for that.
Did a great work. That's great work.
Software, soft computer stuff too.
Right.
And so your team's a good team, it's working well, everyone's working in sync, and you guys are doing what you got to do. So how long have you known her since April, but how long have you known the family? I mean, you said earlier that you visited the house.
Right. So Rusty and
What were the reasons? Just socializing?
yeah, they're Jewish. Good guys.
Yeah. What about the other employees? Did you do the same for them, or was Adrian just because she's Jewish and you tend to follow the Jewish community?
Yeah,
Because of tradition and everything?
yeah, I was just at a dinner for with one. She doesn't work for me now, but she used to work for me, so she invited me to listen. Know her husband and dinner with her.
Is that your, what is that, your cell phone? This is your iPad, and that's your cell phone? Okay, is that the number I've been calling on?
Yes.
Okay, not that thing.
No.
No, not enough. So I said, did you socialize also with the other employees in your unit?
I am socialized.
You go to their houses too?
And like I said, I went to dinner just the other day. Yeah, I mean, again, that's not typical.
But you had a close working relationship with them, and that's what you did. You felt comfortable around them, and you were tight, so things were going well with that. So then we come into November. You said you saw Rusty a couple days before he was shot. And where was that? What circumstances did he go over there?
we were working on a project, and we had a deadline. Andrea needed to go home to take care of the kids. So we agreed that we would break it up. She would go home, basically put the kids in bed, and then I would come.
Did she work out of the home a lot?
She asked to work out of the home, so she would work out of the house 1 to 2 days a week.
Did she have to be at work at a certain time up there in Cobb? I mean, did she have to be there at 9 o'clock? Or she was pretty much, she could come with all of us.
Well, my entire team is basically flexible. We have total operations.
You work electronically with each other, I guess. You can communicate with each other for that. And that's how you can do your projects. So if you needed to work with her on a project, you can just go to her house. She said, come on over. Kids are going to go to bed. It's going to be quiet. And was Rusty there during those times? Or?
Well, I only did that once. I mean, it was only that one time. Again, we had a very hard deadline. And so we needed to complete that work because there was a subcontractor that was doing work for us and they needed to, what we were working on, so we were to get it done on time. So that's what we're working on. Yeah, it wasn't there, that's why I couldn't go home. We showed up around 9 o'clock.
Well, I want to get into the day of Rusty's incident. And so I want to talk about it a little bit more than that. But I want you to be comfortable with talking to me. And I need truthful answers. I mean, we need help solving this whole thing. And we're talking to just about everybody that Rusty and Andrea know. Friends, family, neighbors, professional people. What time did you get to their house?
Around 8. I don't know. I mean, again, it was a
Do you
lot.
put a date on that?
You just said it was a Tuesday.
That week?
Yes. You can look at it a couple of days before.
Is that the whole Lily projects too? That's not the...
No.
You have to work on a regular laptop for that, don't you?
Yeah.
That's just your Maxi BlackBerry.
So it would have been Tuesday the 16th.
So you're there Tuesday the 16th at 8 p.m.
Yeah.
And Rusty's there?
He came around 9-ish again.
But he wasn't there when you got there, but he just came in after you got there. Not particularly any time that you remember, but you weren't there more than an hour when he arrives.
Right.
And you're there, he's there.
Yeah.
Hello, how are you? Good to see you again. Blah, blah, blah.
We were working at the kitchen table. He did some work at the kitchen table. And then a half hour later, he went upstairs. I left there probably around 10:30.
What did he do? Do you know?
What did he do?
His work.
He was working on building this company to do celebrity voice messaging.
Did he share that with you, or was it?
Yeah.
He shared his little business plan and everything?
He didn't show me the business plan, but we had talked about it.
Do you have a business mind?
Do I have a business plan? I think so. I believe so.
So
He was really good operations.
Right. So if he was to show you plans of figures and concepts, you could pretty much look at that and say, hey, it's going to work, it's not going to work. Did he share that with you? So the business concept that he gave you was just pretty much verbiage, just what he told you, that was it, nothing, hey, work to look at. Didn't say, hey, can you look at this? He didn't say, can you look at this for me and give me your ideas on it?
No, there was another company that they were working on to try and buy. He was trying to figure out, to buy a company, I can imagine. Something related to telecommunications for police cars, things like that.
So he shared that much with you too, so he shared a lot with you.
That was all on Tuesday or before? No, that was before. But that didn't fall through. So.
Well, did he call you and ask for advice, or was it it just every time we talked, it was just when we saw each other in person because you were there for business?
Yeah. We may have talked on the phone a couple of times, but yeah.
Now, the only times
It wasn't business again, it was more social, and he was consulting with me, and I was consulting with him about, you know, how I could make my resume better, etc. So,
did you know his the other guys that he was working with on this? He didn't mention any names.
you know, I know,
I think, Harmon, you're helping. You've got a lot more coming out of you than, you know, you're giving it up. You know, you're giving me information, right? Yeah, you're telling me what you know, and that's what I asked for. I wanted to be honest. You were, but you're giving me a lot more than I thought.
they had, what I know is for this voice messaging celebrity.
Right.
They got together a couple of weeks before here in Atlanta, so everybody flew in. I think they had a guy in LA or California somewhere. I don't know, California. I don't know who was on it. Somebody.
What city? You just said, well, California, where were the others come from?
One was coming from Washington,
D.C.?
no, state. One was coming from California, and then Rusty and his other partner here in Atlanta. So they had a big.
You remember that guy's name? Nate?
Maybe, I'm not sure. No,
Is it Nate?
no, I'm not sure. Now, Nick or Nate?
Nick?
Again, I'm not
Okay,
sure.
but you think he was local and not one of these other guys?
No, he had a local partner here.
Right, and that's Nate, you think?
Nick or Nate, something like that. Again, I'm not sure. And then these two guys that flew in. And so one of the guys,
Yeah.
the guy in California, was responsible for technology, for the technology, you know, like the engineer.
Right.
And they weren't happy with him, so I know that they fired him not the week before.
You can't recall his name. What about the
Because
other?
I don't think they told me the name. I think, you know, Andrew just referred to.
Well, does she know a lot about the business?
The business of Rusty.
Right.
Yeah.
So were you getting your information from her, or were you getting from Rusty?
I got a little bit from Rusty, and then the only reason I know that they fired the guy is because she was in my office. We had a meeting when Rusty called her to tell her that he had just fired the guy. So
Is that in that thing when you had your meeting? Is it in there when you had your meeting when this took place?
we meet every Tuesday for an hour.
So was it this Tuesday he fired him?
No, I think it was the previous week.
You think, well,
No, I know it was the previous week. It wasn't that.
it wasn't November?
Yes.
So when all the firing took place, Rusty was on the phone calling her, and your meeting with her had just ended, and that's how you knew about it?
She saw it with Rusty. She excused herself, took the call, and then when she came back to the office, she said, because, you know, I knew about that meeting that they had with like the week prior to that.
Right.
And she said, yeah, Rusty got so mad at the guy he just fired.
Did Rusty have a lot of money involved in that?
I don't know. I really don't.
Did you put money in it?
Oh, no. Well, I'm broke. I'm brand broke.
How much you make a year? I'll tell you how much you make. I think you're making $165.
Not bad.
Really?
170.
Damn, I was off $5,000. I was going to throw in the car, but you don't get a car for that.
No. I owe like $170,000.
That's just because of your separation.
No.
Well, because of the finance, that's the cause it all.
That was one problem.
Okay, well, let's get back to Rusty. I wonder about Rusty's business. So Rusty's business, it didn't sound like it was going very well for these guys. Did Andrea ever say how much money they put into this line? You're looking at the business plan. You're looking at some business. Okay, you're looking at some business plan. You're talking to this guy. I mean, you never ask. You're talking to Rusty. You never say how much does it take.
Yeah, the relationship is a full relationship. I know when they were doing this Motorola deal,
Yeah.
you know, the communications, the comments. Yeah. That business plan I did see, and I think they were looking at like $1 million in equity.
And wow.
It's for me, it's a lot.
Yeah, well,
I have no idea what you're talking about.
you being a business guy, you saw the Motorola deal. Would you jump into that financially?
There were problems with that deal that I would not go into it.
So you knew nothing about that. You knew enough about what they were talking about with the Motorola.
Right.
You knew enough about the money that was going into
Right.
it. But you knew enough to stay out of it because you didn't feel comfortable with some of the things they were doing.
Well, not that they were doing. The problem was that ultimately they didn't sell because they didn't buy the company because the person selling the company had given us the initial number, and then when they went back with an actual proposal, these guys basically doubled. You know, they said, no, we want twice as much.
And you guys being the guys with Motorola, I guess they're trying to sell a franchise, is that pretty much?
Yeah, I guess, yeah, it's like franchise, basically.
And this was just Rusty and
Was in this other partner.
same one that he was in.
Same one. I think the other guy,
So what was that?
yeah, I don't know that Rusty was actually the other guy. But anyway, the bottom line is, I didn't like it because, and this is what I told Rusty, I said, these guys are selling, and then there's another 2 or 3 franchises, you know, because again, for that territory, that are, and he got excited because he said, there's another 2 or 3 that are also interested in selling. So he got excited because he could grow the territory. I saw it as a red flag. I said, look, if everybody's wanting to sell, then it looks like there's a problem. These guys aren't just selling because they want the money, they're selling because they might have something.
Did Rusty heed your advice, or
Ultimately, he didn't buy the company.
do you think it's because of your advice?
I have no idea. Again, it was friendly conversation, so it wasn't.
Sound conversation.
What's that?
Sound advice.
Sound advice.
Sound advice. You gave good advice. I mean, you gave him advice, but you didn't get into it. So I'm wondering.
He's giving me advice on my resume, on what I can do with work.
So I mean, you didn't get into the business. You told him you gave your advice. I wouldn't do it. You didn't.
Yeah, again, they did get a proposal, so they were serious about it. I think they ultimately didn't buy it because the seller doubled, wanted twice as much. By that time, I guess the business is not going.
So he never shared with you later on, and you never asked him, hey, why did you get into that?
I know he didn't because they thought,
okay, he shared that with you.
Yeah, I know.
All right. Any other business practices did you get into with him, or did you? And I'm going to keep asking you about this because he seems like the type of guy, as little as we know about him, but he seemed like the type of guy, he was always looking for financial backing on the project.
Yeah, he really, really smart guy, Harvard Business School.
They're a house ain't cheap, so it looks like they have some money.
Right.
What's she making? You're making 170. She's making, oh, don't tell me. She's making, I think you started her at 128. Really? 120. Damn, so 3,000 on that one too. So, okay, you started off at 125, even number, and I see the number, 125. I was going with 128. Listen, I always thought there was always a package or something, like travel expenses. So, you guys, you and Andrea working for GE, GE's all over the world. I mean, you're just not locked into Cobb County. I mean, you guys must travel to Chamblee.
No, that's not part of our operation.
Okay. So where else are they here in Atlanta?
Like I said, there's 4 buildings in that campus alone.
Okay.
So that's
you guys must travel. I mean, do you get calls like to Philadelphia?
We have facilities in Melbourne, Boston, and I got over 100 sites.
Right. So do you have to go visit them? You call to them?
I visit them. I don't have to, but I go because it's more of a connect with
Right.
people.
Does she go too?
She, again, her team has 8 different locations, so yeah, she knows.
So she's responsible to you, but she also has the people responsible to her. So if you're looking at a flow chart, you're here, she's here, and then she's got people, and there are other people at her level. You're the high?
Yeah.
Okay. Then there's people under you, right?
Right. And then
She's one of them, and then she's got people under her.
people under
So you understand the flow chart, right? Okay.
organization.
So she goes with you, and those people would go with her if that was the case.
Right.
And how often would,
Typically, those people are more local to a specific organization, so they don't have responsibility for it. I mean, some of them do, and they do travel.
so how often would she be responsible to travel with you, or you have to travel with her to these other places?
We went a few times to, we have a facility in Melbourne that has, I don't know, 40, 45 engineers.
And it's not an overnight, nowhere,
Melbourne, Florida.
Florida. So is it all continental U.S.?
No, we have the facilities in England.
Do you go there?
Yeah, we went there. I was there in September.
So how long are these trips usually?
The ones here in the U.S., it depends.
Could be 2-3 days.
Nevada, she went for 3 days. I didn't go. I had another trip with my boss at that time, and so she's independent. She can do what she's doing. Melbourne was like,
Well, you hired her in April and September, she's traveling, you up that comfortable, she can go handle what she has to do.
she's good.
She was that sharp on, I don't mean to say that, she was that sharp, she is that sharp, that you can leave her with the project and she can handle it herself on her own.
Yeah.
She's developed these contacts well enough that she can travel to these cities and hook up with her peers, I guess, or counterparts, and
So I did
up business.
I did a couple of trips with her as a
Just introduce her
get
at
her up to speed.
right. Show her the
Already
facility,
training, right?
show her the facilities and just go
That she's sharp. She
and her evaluations, I guess she's getting evaluated during this time, and she's passing, and she's conducting herself as such. And I guess your relationship is a good professional relationship with her, as it is with the others. And you were still his wife at the time, and it's going to be all going all right with you, or were things happening with you at home? You said now you're,
again, there's conflict.
did it interfere with your work performance?
No.
Not at all?
No.
How long's that been going on? Home life?
Problems?
Yeah, well, everyone's had problems. When you live at Ruthie's, when did that take place? A couple of months ago. Tough time of the year to go to, the holidays. Is this permanent, or do you think it's going to be able to permanent? So, here we are in November. You just moved out in October and November. Did you go traveling in November at all? Before you got sick and all? To different cities? When was the last time you guys traveled together? You and Andrew?
In October, I don't know the exact date, we went to Greenville, South Carolina.
And that day trip where was that?
No, it was overnight because the meetings were early in the morning, so
When was that then?
end of October, around
Okay.
third.
You moved out by then? You moved out at that time?
Yeah,
You moved out in the middle of October? Beginning of October? You still able to function?
Hey, listen, I've got
Corporate world, man, I don't know.
you gotta be able to function.
Yeah.
Where'd you stay? In Greenville.
Downtown there? And your name?
Each house has some. She had
they just have to, like, you know, come Monday and find out, hey, we gotta go to Greenville Tuesday morning and spend the night.
They're typically fine. I mean, that one was 10 days before, something like that.
So you knew well in advance that you were gonna have to go to Greenville and she was gonna have to go also. Why did she have to go? Was it concerning her aspect of the company?
Right, so what we were doing is we were developing a new process for it. We were developing a new process for developing product. How we develop product. And it was very integral with work that she was doing on that process. So we had to tie that together, and we went to Greenville in order to work with the team over there, because there's a big engineering team over there, to make sure we had that time.
Worked out.
Actually,
Good. So did she come back?
we got the new process released in front of us.
Was that the last trip
Yes.
in October? And what's your relationship? I mean, be honest with your relationship with her. I mean, it sounds more than we're business, but, you know, it goes beyond that, and everyone does. You sound like you had a good working relationship with your people, so you went over to her house, you socialized, you met her husband, you know the kids. I'm sure.
I'm not the kid.
Well, they're little things. I mean, I'm sure they wouldn't have known you if they met you. They're little step things. But the fact is, you've been to the house, kids are here, so you've been welcome to their home. Spend any of the holidays together. She invites you over to spend holidays, especially during this time when you're without your family in October.
Not that close.
It's not that close. Did you call each other after work, before work? Do you talk to each other weekends, other than work? I mean, you must be concerned about your well-being. I mean, here in October,
I mean, we were. My job is 24/7, just about.
Well, you got that corporate mind, right? You got the blinders on, so what do you think is corporate? GE, man, that's stock. They give you whatever it's worth today. I don't know. It can't be worth. But don't tell me. GE stock today is. Do you know? Don't tell me. $21. Worse. Where's 18? About $3. This looks trees. So they give you stock option, I'm sure GE, like any other big corporation is. You becoming aware. I mean, does the rest of your group know that you're having problems at home?
They know now.
Well, they know now. If you were coming in October, now let's back up. In August, everything was going well for as well as can be.
There's a couple of people in my group that do.
You must have been
one of them.
Yeah. And I'm going to get at I just can't believe you came to work every day with just that corporate look and knowing in your personal life, you know, things weren't going well, and you still wore well and you still carried on without anybody detecting. These are smart people. I mean, you must have been saying, I mean, this doesn't seem right to me today. Let's find out what's going on.
Yeah,
But of course they are, and they're gonna know. And the ones that are closest to you, who have the most in common with you, are going to be
a couple of employees that are really close to me, and
they can pick up on
something, but they didn't know, right? And they're not going to come and ask me, right? Well, they ask if I'm okay.
Right.
And I said, I'm okay.
Okay, and but you're not. So we all have. And everyone's got chances in their life. But you're carrying on, you're doing good, you're still functioning, you're going to work, still doing the traveling, you're still maintaining. So when do you start sharing with people, particularly Andrea? She said she was and some of the others. So who were some of the others that you started sharing with that things weren't going well?
I think my boss.
Well, him, because her, and did he inquire from you? Why things work? Did you go to him and say,
No, I went to him and I told him that
that's some
I
issue.
left the house.
Yeah.
His admin. I have a lot of managers because I do a lot of different things. So I have my direct manager, but there's also indirect managers. Yeah, I told the other guy.
Right.
And like I said, a couple of people.
So then who did you start telling below you? Because these are people above you, and you have an obligation, I guess, to let them know. As I would, because if my performance starts slipping,
But my performance. I could
just ask you also, the decision to actually step out and get out of here.
It's a silly thing, actually. You know, always the straw or the camel back. We went to Lowe's, and we're broke. I mean, again, I owe money because it's great. I'm in a debt consolidation plan. I have a personal loan of $65,000.
Then you got the Georgia Tech loans.
And I have the student loans, which is like 15 grand.
That's only when they graduate.
Yeah, but still, I still have to pay some of the figures. So we were way over our design. The mortgage is $3,000. You have all these expenses, and we have no money. I told my wife, we don't have any money. We're broke. We're not only we're broke, but I think I'm going to have to declare bankruptcy, or we have to foreclose on the house, because I don't know how we can continue to afford this. So I'm telling her this, and we went to Lowe's, and she says, "Oh, you know, there's patio furniture on sale." And our patio furniture.
Say what?
I said, well, you realize that we don't have a dime. We cannot buy anything. She says, but it's on sale. It's a really good price. I said, I don't care if they're giving it away. We can't afford it. And that's when I realized that the relationship became destructive. I was trying to please her. She was very happy with what we had. And I kept trying to please her with buying things, you know.
Is she working?
At that time, she only started working.
Mr. Miller, can you pause?
Need or?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give you a stretch break. It'll be in about 10 minutes. Also, just as a reminder, I should be able to see both of your eyes at all times, not your eyelids. All right, just as a reminder. So, your two eyes, both of them, no eyelids. All right, 10 minutes.
All rise.